Hi, all of you. Good afternoon, good evening, whatever suits you. Winters may almost get sundown. Hi, all of you. Okay, fine. We're starting off now. So these couple of sessions that we will have next 6-7 classes or whatever, we'll try to summarize the current affairs over the last one complete year. Okay, so I realized one thing here, that you need some kind of frequent revisions and also a kind of consolidation so that you can keep track of your progress also. So we are covering current affairs from April 2022 right up to April 2023. That's the objective. And we'll do this on quarterly basis, okay? So April, May, June, okay, then we'll do July, August and September, then we will do October, November, December, Jan, Feb, March, and whatever remains is April. So quarterly basis. And the 4 broad areas we'll cover is geography and environment, geography related places, geography related events, earthquakes, volcanism, but environment will be the heavier portion. Okay. And second broad area will be polity, okay, and governance topics. We'll also cover, okay, economy. We'll cover something around science and technology and miscellaneous. So broadly ये focus है, और miscellaneous में कुछ art and culture भी आ जाएगा. So many of you are already part of the current affairs sessions. This is something like a consolidation. So आज पहला दिन है, so let's see how much we cover. But I want these to be a long marathon sessions because otherwise I can't complete. मेरे list में तो बहुत लंबा list है. Okay, we'll see what we can do. So I will be speaking fast. I will give you some notes also. And I will suggest कि आप भी खुद जाकर वो topics को एक बार घर में दोबारा देख लें आप. Because देखो, you cannot do more than this. In the time that you have next 6-7 months, no, this is for both. This is applicable for those giving your prelims examination this year and also for next year. So if you can consolidate, आपने पढ़ा होगा, I'm sure. It's not that I'll cover all the new topics, but maybe I can give you some insights. Because when I'm looking into events, I'm looking into 3-4 different sources. Okay? So whatever you have read, and I'll go month-wise. So every month I'm trying to cover about 7-8 broad issues which are of importance. Okay? That's the objective. So let's get started. So April, May, June is my target, 2022. My sources are, okay, I'm heavily relying on government websites and PIB. In fact, a lot of things are from PIB directly. Okay, I'll summarize it. I'm looking into some UN documents also. Okay, whatever in news, a lot of conventions have happened. I'm looking into magazines. Environment के लिए, I think one good magazine is your Down to Earth. उसको आप हम देखते रहते हैं. Plus, there are some coverages of environment, okay, also in the Wikipedia websites, जहाँ पे detail चाहिए. Okay, and plus we also have our own gazettes. Gazette में काफी कुछ covered है. Though we're reviving Cosmos now, but we have covered environment topics. ये 5-6 sources होंगे. And then some specialized ones. I'll tell the article's name. I'll tell you the source also. This is PIB. Okay, this is the UN. I'll let you know. I'll let you know whatever you can refer to. Okay, so we get started now. So starting, okay, April and May का मैं साथ में करा रहा हूँ. 2022. I'm also picking up some developments which happened in 2021 also. So some of them have their continuity also. Okay? The first one I'm taking up is the IPCC 6th assessment report. IPCC 6th assessment report. अच्छा, I hope you know. Now keep on writing, please. IPCC reports, they come up periodically. ऐसा कोई fixed time frame नहीं है, but your article says that it comes average around 7 years में एक बार आता है. 7 years में once they come up with the reports. The first report was 1995. The first report was in 1995. Okay. IPCC का जो fifth report था, 4th report 2015 में, the Paris Agreement was based on that report. The Paris Agreement was based on largely the 4th report. A lot of current developments environment में, lot of current developments in the environment are based on 4th, 5th report, are based on the 4th and the 5th report. Okay. IPCC है क्या? I hope you know. It's a special research around. It's a special research body, and उसका main objective है to provide scientific basis for governments. Scientific basis for governments to develop climate related policies. To develop climate related policies. And the IPCC reports have been the basis of almost all negotiations under UNFCCC. Negotiations under UNFCCC. Okay. Now, ये जो 6th report है, it includes 3 reports. Report 1, Report 2, and Report 3. Report 1, this is the report on physical sciences. The report on physical sciences में कि all the data is collated in terms of what are the impacts and the rest. Okay, that's one. Second report is mainly on the impacts. The second is on the impacts, the risks and the vulnerabilities, and the third report is on the mitigation. Third report is on mitigation. Okay. Now, quickly, what are the key findings? I can see this as a multiple choice question maybe. What are the key findings? मैं आपको 5-6 लिखवा देते हैं quickly. The first is that human activities are responsible for 100% of global warming. Human activities are responsible for 100% of global warming. It says all warming of 1.09 degrees centigrade. All warming of 1.09 degrees centigrade since 1900s. Since 1900s, human activities have contributed 1.07 degrees. 1.07 degrees. Number 2, carbon dioxide is at its highest level. Carbon dioxide is at its highest level for the last 2 million years. For the last 2 million years. Methane, nitrous oxide also at the highest levels since last 800,000 years. 800,000 years. It says aerosols contribute to reducing warming. Aerosols contribute to reducing warming. So reduction in aerosols increases warming. Forests, oceans and soils. Forests, oceans and soils. Yes, forests, oceans and soils show signs of saturation. Show signs of saturation. Now, about India, the report says, next point, about India, there are 4 or 5 opposition about India. About India, report says, India will face major threat of sea level rise. India will face major threat of sea level rise. Indian Ocean warming is higher than the average rate of ocean warming. Indian Ocean warming is at a higher rate than the average ocean warming. Okay, coastal flooding will be common. Coastal flooding will be common. Retreating snow lines can impact rainfall, water cycle, and both summer and winter rainfall will increase. Summer and winter rainfall will increase. Recommendations of IPCC report kya raha? Recommendations have been strive for net zero by 2050, net zero emissions. Strive for net zero emissions 2050 by 2050. New coal plants and fossil fuel. New coal plants and fossil fuel development should end. Cumulative emissions should be factored while calculating net zero. Cumulative emissions should be factored while calculating net zero. So what happens is, many a times in the emissions, we leave out the emissions because of livestock, emissions because of land use changes. We calculate only the emissions because of transportation. ठीक है, so cumulative बोलता है कि सब add करके, when you're calculating net zero, you must focus on cumulative emissions and not simply couple of sectors alone. Okay, so emissions should be cumulative for net zero calculations. Okay, and technology should be used. Technology should be used, which includes sucking out carbon from the atmosphere. Sucking out carbon from the atmosphere. Okay, so we have to use what they say, if required, machines and engineering solutions to deal with climate change. So इसी से 2, 3, 4 multiple choice questions you can get ready. Okay, they can ask you a specific statement. Okay, that's about IPCC more or less. Yeah. Let me check if I'm missing something. Yeah, one more point of suggestion was all type of low emission technologies. All type of low emission technologies. By the way, one question: who had set up the IPCC? IPCC was set up by, Nico. IPCC was set up by WMO, World Meteorological Organization, along with UNEP, WMO and UNEP, United Nations Environment Program, in 1988. In 1988. Okay. So that's about IPCC. The next topic. ये अप्रैल और मई में न्यूज में था, डेवलपिंग यूनिफॉर्म कार्बन ट्रेडिंग मार्केट. डेवलपिंग यूनिफॉर्म कार्बन ट्रेडिंग मार्केट. Okay. Now see, keep writing here. As a part of Kyoto Agreement, there are three mechanisms that help. There are three mechanisms to help carbon reduction, and they are considered as market mechanisms. One is the emissions trading. Number two is joint implementation, JI, joint implementation. Third is clean development mechanism. These become part of what's called as the carbon trading. Emissions trading, joint implementation and clean development mechanism. Iska detail kya hai? I presume you know, or you will ultimately read about it. Joint implementation is between two developed countries. CDM is if a developed country implements some clean technology in the developing countries. ठीक है, ये तीन है. Okay, right, next. The biggest market for carbon trading is in EU. The biggest market for carbon trading is in EU, which is formalized. They have a structure to it. Okay, and they follow the principle of cap and trade. EU follows cap and trade. Okay. Next is India is the largest carbon exporter of the world. India is the largest carbon exporter of the world. Carbon trade में basically, okay, we are selling carbon credits, okay, among the largest of the world. हम कर रहे हैं, ठीक है? So India does not have a proper formal carbon trading mechanism. India does not have a proper formal carbon trading mechanism. India mostly has voluntary trading. It has a voluntary market in carbon trading. India has voluntary market in carbon trading. Government के कुछ ऐसे cap नहीं है कि इसके beyond कर पाओ नहीं कर पाओ. There's no cap and trade for India. It's voluntary. Now there are two mechanisms of carbon trading inside India. There are two mechanisms बोलो या two instruments बोलो, better. There are two instruments or two mechanisms of carbon trading. One is called as the PAT scheme, PAT, perform, achieve, trade. PAT scheme, perform, achieve and trade. इसमें क्या है? That certain energy intensive, okay, industries are given some targets. If they achieve the targets, they can get certificates which they can trade. Okay, and this PAT scheme is applicable for 11 industries. Applicable for 11 industries that account for 50% of energy consumption in India. They account for 50% of energy consumption in India. 50. Okay. और पैट स्कीम में क्या ट्रेड होता है? Okay, the energy saving certificate is traded. They get ESC बोलते हैं. If you achieve your target of energy saving, you are given ESC, energy saving certificate. वो trade होता है. Is a kind of an indirect carbon trading, ESC. This is one mechanism, but it has not been very successful. PAT scheme, cap in India में नहीं है. Cap and trade, you cap the amount of emissions. इसके beyond आप emit नहीं कर सकते हो. So you are given a cap here. और अगर आप इतना emit करते हो तो ये आपका surplus है. You can sell this if you want to. Okay. So India में अभी cap and trade नहीं है, but energy saving certificate मिलता है जो आप trade करते हो. That's one scheme. The second instrument is, okay, REC. REC is renewable energy certificates. Renewable energy certificates. Okay, this is for promoting renewable energy. Promoting renewable energy. And it facilitates compliance for renewable purchase obligations. Obligations for renewable purchase obligations. Basically what's done is every company has been given some obligation कि आपको इतना renewable में करना ही पड़ेगा. So if you do that and you achieve it, you are given again a certificate. And if you do more than that, फिर आपको मिलेगा, you can start trading again. So REC is about renewable energy कितना आपने install किया है. इंडिया में ये दो चलता है, but both of these have not been successful. Okay, next slide down. अच्छा, one fact के लिए one REC is equivalent to 1 megawatt hour MWH of power. 1 REC is equivalent to 1 MWH of power. ठीक है? So ये अभी system is voluntary, it is not enforced as a part of a proper law. Okay, there are small schemes, but ऐसे obligations बहुत strong नहीं है. So what India wants it now to develop its own proper carbon market. Okay, इसमें कुछ data लिख लो आप. Okay, write down the data on this. Write down that India could gain major benefits because India has initiated afforestation programs, urban waste to energy, WTE, urban waste to energy units, agriculture waste to energy, AWTE, agriculture waste to energy units, and India needs investments for installing more clean technologies, Okay, so ये announcement है ये वाला. Okay, so it finally says that if a common carbon market is enforced, it will subsume all present tradable certificates. It will subsume all present tradable certificates it can help India achieve, Paris Agreement obligations too. Paris Agreement obligations too. इसमें एक, just to update you here, last year November December में India has already tabled a bill on this. Okay, but the bill has been put forward by Ministry of Power. लिख लो आप इसमें. India already has a bill for this. Okay, tabled in by Ministry of Power. But वो क्या mechanism होगा? Will it be cap or trade? Okay, or will it be carbon tax method? Is something we do not know. The details are not yet mentioned. The details are not yet mentioned. Okay, that's about carbon trade. Next is green hydrogen. Next is green hydrogen. First is, लिखो आप, importance of hydrogen लिखो आप पहले. Write down importance of hydrogen based energy. Importance of hydrogen based energy. Number one, it can majorly support clean mobility. It can majorly support clean mobility. It can decarbonize heavy industries, shipping and aviation. Heavy industries, shipping and aviation. It can replace most of the fossil fuel, because hydrogen is available everywhere as a resource. Everywhere as a resource. If technology for splitting water is made affordable. Technologies for splitting water is made affordable. ठीक है? It can become hydrogen-based energy can become the most decentralized option. Can become the most decentralized option after solar energy. Most decentralized option after solar energy. Okay? Achha, now, so to split water into hydrogen, it requires energy. Okay, this energy can be supplied by fossil fuel like coal, can be supplied by natural gas. Okay, इसका main component methane है. It can be supplied by renewable energy. Okay, I think you all know this. Okay, so you need hydrogen. To split the water, I need energy again. Okay, and this energy can be from fossil fuel like coal, it can be from natural gas, जिसका main component methane है, or can be from renewable energy. This coal, this leaves carbon residues. Okay. So hydrogen from this is called as black hydrogen. Okay. इस केस में the carbon residues are less. That's why it's called as gray. Black or brown यही यूज करते हैं. You get from carbon, from coal, it's called as black or brown. If it is from methane, it's called as gray hydrogen. But if इसी में ही, if the carbon residue can be captured, it's called as CCS, carbon capture systems. What do we call this as? We call this as blue hydrogen. And if it is from this, there is no carbon residue, then this is called as green hydrogen. I believe you know this. अगर कोल से होगा, अगर कोल से सोर्स है, is black or brown. अगर natural gas या मीथेन से है, is called as gray. The same gray, if the carbon residue is captured by what's called as CCS, carbon capture system, then it's called as blue. So this is relatively more clean than this. And if it is from renewable energy, most important being solar, in this case there is no carbon residue and it is called as green. So एक type का grading है, grading from black, brown, gray, blue. Blue का एक और version है, a bit better, is called as turquoise and then green. Black and brown from coal. Gray, blue, turquoise, ये तीनों is natural gas or methane. Natural gas or methane. For blue and turquoise, they use a technique called as methane pyrolysis. Is one type of heating. Methane pyrolysis method use करते हैं. And green is entirely based on renewable energy. ठीक है? So you understand this part. Now, in case of blue carbon, 80-85% of 80-90% of carbon residue is captured in blue carbon. ये दोनों केस में you are capturing and storing the carbon residue. So 80-90% is captured. In turquoise, more about 90-95% is captured. This is more clean than this. Yes. वो मेथड है. ये मीथेन को यूज करने के लिए they use technique called as methane pyrolysis. कैप्चर करके निकाल, कैप्चर नहीं करोगे तो वो ग्रे हो गया. अगर कैप्चर कर लेते हो तो यू नॉट अलाउइंग इट टू एंटर द एटमॉस्फेयर. बिकॉज यू कैप्चर इट, इट इज नॉट ब्लैक एंड ब्राउन, इट इज बेटर, सो इट्स कॉल्ड ब्लू। और ज्यादा कैप्चर कर लिया आपने, इट बिकम्स टर्कोइज, लाइक ब्लू और ग्रीन के एक शेड बीच में है। और अगर कार्बन निकल ही नहीं रहा है, इट इज ग्रीन। डन? दिस इज द मोस्ट क्लीन वन। अच्छा, नाउ 2-3 पॉइंट्स लिखो आप, राइट डाउन। ब्लू एंड टर्कोइज टेक्नोलॉजीज, blue and turquoise technologies that use methane pyrolysis, is largely experimental and pilot projects. The largely experimental and pilot projects. Green hydrogen uses electrolysis technology, that is commercially available today, but is more than 2 to 3 times costlier than other technologies. ठीक है? So for green carbon we need to scale up and make it cheaper. For green hydrogen we need to scale up and make it more affordable. ठीक है? Now इसमें डेवलपमेंट क्या हुआ है? Government has launched National Green Hydrogen Mission. इसका ऑब्जेक्टिव है to make India a global hub for using, producing and exporting green hydrogen. ये कीवर्ड्स याद रखना, ओके? इट्स इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर प्रीलिम्स चॉइसेस में। India as a global hub for using, producing and exporting green hydrogen. The key industrial sectors that have applications for hydrogen are India में, production of ammonia, fertilizer, ammonia production में, steel industries, refineries, and electricity, including mobility. Objective is to develop hydrogen production capacity of at least 5 MMT, million metric tons per annum. 5 MMT, 5 million metric tons per annum. इसके अंदर में 2 सबमिशंस हैं. There are submissions. One is called as SIGHT, SIGHT. There are 2 submissions under the National Mission for Hydrogen. One is called as SIGHT, SIGHT. SIGHT is Strategic Interventions for Green Hydrogen Transition Program. Strategic Interventions for Green Hydrogen Transition Program. ये जो सबमिशन है, दिस इज फॉर फंडिंग This is for funding of domestic manufacturing. Funding for domestic manufacturing to produce green hydrogen. Number 2 is a pilot project for end use sectors and production. So government, a pilot project for end use sectors and production. Government says कि हम एक ऐसा बनाएंगे जहां पर हम यूज भी करेंगे. It's like to encourage, start the process. We'll fund it and we also will experiment to use it. ठीक है. इसके अलावा write down states and regions that develop themselves as major production centers for hydrogen, will be green hydrogen hubs. Which will receive additional grants from site. Program, SIGHT, बताया भी आपको मैंने, from site programs. Okay, so that's about green hydrogen. The next is integrated biorefineries mission. Write down. This is an initiative to accelerate and commercialize biorefineries. With the objective of replacing fossil fuel based refineries. With the objective of replacing 10% of fossil fuel based refineries with bio-based alternatives. 10% of fossil fuel based refineries with bio-based alternatives. You know about ethanol and the rest, right? Okay, so refineries को convert करना है. Okay, the refineries आपके हैं, 10% हमें चाहिए, तो आप बात कर रहे हो about fuel blending की बात कर रहे हो, हम उसकी बात नहीं कर रहे हैं. Okay, refineries को ही change करना है. Okay, so 10% of fossil fuel refineries को replace करो with biofuel based refineries. ठीक है? Right, next, this mission is co-led by India and Netherlands. It is co-led by India and Netherlands. It also includes Brazil and Canada as core members. European Union and UK as supporting members. Okay, write down next. Write down under this, a mission innovation has been launched. Head रखना है. under this, mission innovation has been launched that focuses on clean hydrogen. No, I made a mistake. It's not under this. Write down. Dobara likho isko, please. Write again. Rewrite this part, please. Write again. That mission biorefineries. Please rewrite this. Mission biorefineries is one of the missions under mission innovation. Is one of the mission under mission innovation. There is a global initiative called as mission innovation. It's an intergovernmental initiative to develop technologies and alternatives for climate change targets. ठीक है, इसके अंदर में 5 missions already हैं. The 6th one is mission biorefineries. Make sense now? It already has 5 missions, but 6th one has been launched now. ठीक है, और mission innovation ये क्या-क्या cover करता है? It includes green hydrogen. Write down, please. Mission innovation includes green hydrogen, net zero shipping, carbon dioxide removal technologies, urban transportation, etc. इसके अंडर में there are 23 countries right now. 23 countries under mission innovation. And this was launched with Paris Agreement in 2015. This was launched under Paris Agreement in 2015. Okay. Now under this, under mission innovation, there are following key initiatives. Number one is clean energy solutions with public-private partnerships. Clean energy solutions with public-private partnerships or alliances. Number two is clean energy ministerial. I'll talk about it after this one. Clean energy ministerial, CEM बोलते हैं. CEM. And third one is IDDI. IDDI is Industrial Deep Decarbonization Initiative. Industrial Deep Decarbonization Initiative. ये IDDI जो है, IDDI, this is under Clean Energy Ministerial. It's under क्लीन एनर्जी मिनिस्ट्रियल। ये 4-5 डेवलपमेंट एक साथ हुआ। लेट मी अगेन रिकैप ताकि आप भूले नहीं। यू ऑल नो अबाउट पेरिस एग्रीमेंट। ओके, पेरिस एग्रीमेंट टॉक्स अबाउट ऑल दोस मैकेनिज्म्स। ओके, इसके अंडर में we said we must have some systems which can encourage innovations, which can develop new technologies, which can develop new solutions. So as a part of innovation encouragement, we developed this called as mission innovation. जितने भी पेरिस के गोल्स हैं ये सारे इसके अंडर में इनका ऑब्जेक्टिव है। अंडर दिस, ओके, the latest one launched was mission biorefineries. ये इसलिए न्यूज में है because India is playing a good role here as a part of our ethanol blending and biofuel policy. I'll take up on this one, इसके बाद उठाएंगे हम। So इसलिए इंडिया के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है ये। इसके अलावा दिस मिशन इनोवेशन के अंडर में, okay, what is the key thinking that we have to include private sector also. Okay, and we developed this initiative called as Clean Energy Ministerial. इसके अंडर में IDDI आता है। Just giving you a framework of how things fit in. Yes. अंडर नहीं है, इसके साथ ये लॉन्च हुआ था। हाँ, yes. Okay, because ये एग्रीमेंट थोड़ी है। So when this was done, as a part of furthering this was launched. Okay, so it was at the behest of the agreement that we went on for this. To meet the objective, not supplement, to achieve the objectives. Because just giving targets will not be sufficient. We need innovations. Innovations which can be scaled up, replicated, which can be funded, and so on. ठीक है, सो ये मिशन के अंडर यू हैव द बायोरिफाइनरीज मिशन जो बता दिया मैंने आपको, एंड आई विल डिस्कस समथिंग ऑन दिस वन। ठीक है, लेट्स टेक अप व्हाट इज क्लीन एनर्जी मिनिस्ट्रियल। व्हाट इज क्लीन एनर्जी मिनिस्ट्रियल? राइट डाउन। It is an industrial energy efficiency initiative. It is an industrial energy efficiency initiative. कि industries में how can we have clean technologies? Okay, it is an industrial energy efficiency initiative. Number 2 is objective to use green technologies. Objective to use green technologies in some of the energy intensive sectors. In some of the energy intensive sectors like iron and steel, cement, iron and steel, cement, refineries and petrochemicals. Refineries and petrochemicals. Next, the CEM is a high-level global forum. It is a high-level global forum to promote policies and programs. To promote policies and programs for clean energy technologies. For clean energy technologies. Okay. Under CEM, IDDI was launched. under CEM, IDDI, Industrial Deep Decarbonization Initiative was launched, which collaborates with public and private organizations. It collaborates with public and private organizations. Okay. UNIDO, UNIDO, United Nations Industrial Development Organization, UNIDO coordinates the IDDI objectives. Coordinates for IDDI objectives. United Nations Industrial Development Organization. United Nations Industrial Development Organization. ठीक है? The next one, this is done. The next is, now this is a bit of science and technology along with environment. Okay, heading is nitrogen levels on decline. Nitrogen levels are on decline. So nitrogen का क्या benefits हैं? Write down. The benefits of nitrogen. The benefits for nitrogen. Basically, it stimulates growth, organic growth. It stimulates organic growth. Okay. Growth, more biomass. It results in more biomass. Low nitrogen reduces ecosystems productivity. Reduces ecosystems productivity. Leads to yellowing of leaves. Yellowing of leaves. Impacts reproduction in insects. It impacts reproduction in insects, which can impact pollination. Which can impact pollination. Next slide down. When natural nitrogen reduces, systems tend to hold on to nitrogen longer. Systems tend to hold on to nitrogen longer and slow down nitrogen cycle, and therefore slow down the nitrogen cycle. Right, next. Low nitrogen can also be responsible for locust attacks. Locust attacks. ठीक है, तो ऐसे साइंस टेक्नोलॉजी के साथ में होगा. Locust, understand? Insects, locust attacks. Okay, so as it's okay, so low nitrogen के क्या-क्या negatives हैं? The plant growth will be less, productivity will be less, yellowing of leaves होगा. The insects that feed on plants, okay, they will not be as healthy. That impacts pollination, and I said even pest attacks. Okay. Now I'm reading out. ये बहुत जगह repeated है. There is this lady who is a scholar who said this, Rachel Mason. She says the world has a dual trajectory problem. There is too much nitrogen and also too little nitrogen. Okay, so you can just know this idea that our world has our world has a dual trajectory problem in nitrogen. Yes, sorry. The scholar's name is Rachel Mason. These names are not important, but okay. There's a dual trajectory problem in nitrogen. It says there is too much nitrogen, and we also have too little nitrogen. When I say too much nitrogen, I'm essentially talking about nitrogen because of human and agriculture waste that results in, eutrophication, urban sewage, excessive use of fertilizers, anthropogenic, yes, because of human and agriculture waste ka wajah se we have eutrophication, and eutrophication impacts water bodies. Okay, it impacts BOD. Okay, it impacts algal bloom. It results in algal bloom. Okay, and so on. So ये problem है too much nitrogen. Too little, जो मैंने बताया अभी, that the natural nitrogen in the soils is reducing. Okay, so let me explain this now. Now, there is a process called as carbon fertilization. Yes, term suna hai aapne? Carbon fertilization. What it does is, because of higher carbon dioxide in the atmosphere, it encourages plant growth. It encourages plant growth. ठीक है? Because of excessive carbon dioxide, while plant growth is increasing, nitrogen is not adequate for the plant growth. An example where nitrogen demand has increased, but utna nitrogen systems mein hai nahi. Okay? So it's something like the decrease in nitrogen availability is related to carbon emissions. अब समझ में आया लिंक आपको? The decrease in nitrogen availability, for the plant forest growth is related to increase in carbon emissions. And this impacts the health of the plants, the health of the insects, and whatever problems we have. Okay? The nitrogen availability is decreasing because of increased carbon dioxide in the atmosphere. So, long-term consequences, the biodiversity health will be adversely impacted. The biodiversity health will be adversely impacted. Okay, one. The second is, now dekho, have you heard about this idea, right? The forests are very important carbon sequestration systems. Okay, लेकिन अगर plants healthy नहीं होंगे, their ability to absorb CO2 will again decrease. Yes. Next, the second problem is, एक तो है impact biodiversity health. Number two is, in the long run में, the ability of the forests To remove carbon dioxide, the ability of the forests to reduce carbon dioxide will also be compromised. Will also be compromised. Okay. A very important point here is the solution to this is not artificial application of nitrogen fertilizers. Is not artificial application of nitrogen fertilizers. Because that will lead to what? Eutrophication. Okay. The solution is carbon dioxide reduction or removal from the atmosphere. Carbon dioxide removal or reduction from the atmosphere. Now that I'm doing this, I thought कि मैं इसको link कर देता हूं with the idea of nitrogen cycle. Again, science and tech, but ठीक है, related है. Yes. Yes. Algal bloom से आपका problem of coal bleaching भी है, correct? वो तो eutrophication का problem हो गया. Okay, but not because of reduction. ठीक है? So next is a small discussion on nitrogen cycle. So this is your ground. Trees, atmospheric nitrogen. This is what's called as inert free nitrogen बोलते हैं इसको. Okay. There is one process which is nitrogen fixation. Nitrogen fixation होता है दो तरीके से. One is by nitrogen fixing bacteria. Okay. Like, okay, azotobacters, rhizobium. I believe you know these terms. Okay. These are nitrogen fixing bacteria. The second technique of fixing is what? Because of lightning. Yes. Because of lightning. Natural lightning. Okay. The nitrogen converts and gets fixed in the soil. This is nitrogen fixation. This is step number one. Then what happens is this fixed nitrogen, this gets converted into ammonia. So one step is fixation. This is called as ammonification. Sorry. This is no, this is not ammonification. No, कहीं और आएगा. Ammonia होगा. This ammonia gets converted into nitrates. This is again by bacteria. This is nitrification. This is nitrification. So you have got nitrogen fixation, formation of ammonia in the soils. This ammonia converts into nitrates. Okay, ये nitrates is used by the plants. This is the nitrate assimilation. This is the nitrate assimilation. So when you apply fertilizers, you apply as nitrates. अच्छा. इसके अलावा एक और टेक्निक है, the decaying organic matter. This undergoes putrefaction, undergoes putrefaction, one type of rotting सोच लो आप, okay, animal waste, okay, dying animals, ठीक है, they undergo putrefaction. From putrefaction they convert into nitrites, NO2. From nitrites they again convert into nitrates. ठीक है, तो जो प्लांट्स यूज करते हैं ये टेक्निक है. सो टेक्निक्स आर, phases are, one I said nitrogen fixation, number 2 is nitrification. One term I used there was decaying and putrefaction. एक और टर्म यूज किया मैंने, नाइट्रेट एसिमिलेशन. नाइट्रेट एसिमिलेशन हो गया ये वाला. अच्छा, देन व्हाट हैपेंस इज सम ऑफ दीज नाइट्रेट्स, ओके, बिकॉज ऑफ डीनाइट्रीफाइंग बैक्टीरिया, they again become part of the nitrogen of the atmosphere. Is this understandable, all of you? So एक और process होगा आपका denitrification. Okay, यहां पर एक सब phase है where this putrefaction goes through one more step, okay, where there is ammonium compounds formation. Okay, this becomes nitrites. इसको बोलते हैं ammonification. This putrefaction, okay, goes through one phase called as, okay, ammonification. The ammonium compounds, ये ammonia है, NH3 is a gas, it's ammonia, it's a compound. It's a radical, ammonium radical है. Okay, so from the decaying life forms, decaying plants, animals, there is ammonification, then nitrites, then nitrates, the nitrates gets absorbed. So what's happening in our system is, when there is carbon dioxide fertilization, का मतलब क्या है? Lots of plants are here now. There's lots of plants. The amount of nitrates I have here is not able to support this. So ultimately, okay, they can't even absorb carbon dioxide and they also become unhealthy. It impacts your biodiversity. All good? Online, is it okay? I know I'm moving at a pace because I'm not teaching science and technology. Like I'm helping you, okay, with some keywords, डाल रहे हैं कान में ताकि आपका रिवीजन हो जाए at one go. ठीक है? Formation of atmospheric nitrogen यहां से, okay. So this nitrates, because of bacteria, directly because of bacteria, okay, they undergo denitrification and become part of nitrogen. So these nitrates can be absorbed by the plants or they can again be converted into, okay, inert free nitrogen. Inert and free nitrogen. Okay, तो एक दो बार सवाल पूछा हुआ है on these cycles because nitrogen is in news, so I thought I'll add this at one go. Now some facts, yes. Yes, you're right. ठीक है? So इसी के साथ में I will give you one more fact here. So write down some facts, please. Write some facts. ये जो एजोटोबैक्टर है, राइजोबियम, ये लिखा आपने ये दो, these two are also called as, they are also called as, okay, diazotrophs. These organisms are also called as diazotrophs, D-I-A-Z, because they use, okay, nitrogen. They're also called as diazotrophs. Okay, that's one fact. Yeah, because they convert, they use this and convert into, okay. Next is ये जो nitrification होता है यहां पर, the nitrification, okay, is done by nitrosomonas, N-I-T-R-O, nitrosomonas, S-O-M-O-N-A-S, somonas bacteria and nitrobacter. नाइट्रिफिकेशन जो है कौन करता है? नाइट्रोसोमोनास बैक्टीरिया एंड नाइट्रोबैक्टर बैक्टीरियम. ओके, नेक्स्ट जो डीनाइट्रिफिकेशन है, the denitrification is done by Clostridium and Pseudomonas bacteria. ठीक है, and nitrogen fixation by diazotrophs, which are rhizobium and azotobacteria. Yes, these 6 names I think are important. You should know these processes of nitrogen cycle. Yeah, so that's about nitrogen. अच्छा, इसी में एक और डेवलपमेंट लिख लो. This was a development in the month of April-June. Nano urea. Okay, the nano urea technologies. It's a new technology, okay? Okay, so nano urea are small particle size urea. Nano urea क्या है? It is small particle size urea, about 20 to 50 nanometer in size, 20 to 50 nanometer in size. They have larger surface area. They have larger surface area. It says almost 10,000 times more than regular urea. They have larger surface area and they have more number of particles. They have more number of particles per area. So what nanofilage does is it helps better absorption of urea in the plants. It helps better absorption of urea in the plants. With 80% higher nutrient use efficiency. With 80% higher nutrient use efficiency. एक फैक्ट है, नैनो यूरिया इज नेवर अप्लाइड एट द सॉइल. जो सॉइल में अप्लाई करते हैं उसको बोलते हैं बेसल यूरिया एप्लीकेशन बोलते हैं, BASAL. The urea that you apply at the soil is called as basal urea application. nano fertilizer, nano urea hai, you spray on the leaves and the plant. Yes, liquid form mein. Yes, nano urea is in liquid form. Okay, and it is applied to the leaves. This is called as foliar fertilization. FOLIAR. It's called as foliar fertilization. Foliage का मतलब क्या होता है? Leaves होता है. You must spray. Yes, it's in liquid form. You must spray on the leaves. ठीक है? Then it says, with it is not used as basal urea. It is used as foliar. FOLIAR. Foliar application or foliar fertilization. Okay. So it says that nano urea should not cut off basal nitrogen supply. Should not cut off basal nitrogen supply. Both are important. Okay. And some terms likha hai, write down, that it is best if sprayed in the mornings or evenings to avoid dew. It's best if sprayed in the mornings or evenings to avoid dew. Kundan, the size is 20 to 50 nanometers. 20 to 50 nanometers. Kundan. हाँ, ये soil में application नहीं होता है ओम. So morning or evening avoiding dew. The second is, okay, 2 sprays are good. 2 foliar sprays are good. The first is at the time of branching. At the time of branching, within bracket likho, when the plant starts to branch. So branching ka matlab hai after about 20-30 days after germination or transplantation. 20-30 days after germination or transplantation. And the second spray is before flowering. Before flowering. Before flowering. Next is in India, IFFCO, IFFCO. IFFCO nano urea is the world's first nano fertilizer. IFFCO nano urea is the world's first nano fertilizer. And has been notified by Government of India. By Government of India. ठीक है? So nitrogen से 3 news, okay? One is reducing nitrogen, second is nitrogen cycle, third is nano urea. Okay. The next, again a quick fact here. Seaweed farming. Seaweed farming. So India is setting up its first seaweed park in Tamil Nadu. The first seaweed park in Tamil Nadu. Managed by Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. Ministry of Fisheries, Animal Husbandry and Dairying. It will be India's first SEZ on seaweed farming. First SEZ on seaweed farming. There's a council called as TIFAC, TIFAC. technology information forecasting, technology information forecasting and assessment council, it has launched mission seaweed. It has launched mission seaweed. Now, some facts about seaweeds. Seaweeds are primitive marine, non-flowering algae. They are primitive marine non-flowering algae. So basically, when I say algae का मतलब ये है, within bracket, they don't have plant-like roots, leaves or stem. They don't have plant-like roots, leaves or stems. Okay. One of the most important marine ecosystems includes kelp forest, K-E-L-P. One of the most important marine ecosystems includes kelp forest. मरीन में ये दो बहुत हाई प्रोडक्टिविटी जोन्स हैं और ये 3-4 सोच लो आप, सॉल्ट फ्लैट्स, एस्चुरीज, कोरल रीफ्स एंड kelp फॉरेस्ट. ओके, कोरल रीफ्स होते हैं ट्रॉपिकल वाटर्स में, kelp होते हैं कोल्ड वाटर्स में. ओके, kelp forests, they act as marine nurseries. Lot of biodiversity there. Kelp, K-E-L-P, kelp forest. The one type of algae, kelp forests. They act as nurseries for biodiversity. Okay. Some of the names लिख लो of seaweeds, important seaweeds. एक तो बताया kelp. I think all of us have heard about sargassum. Okay, we have turbinaria. We have, okay, Jellydiella, Acerosa, and G. edulis, G. crassa, seaweeds news में है, you better know the specifics. These are some of the variety of seaweeds which are harvested and grown. Okay, kelp, you understand now? Kelp, sargassum, turbinaria, Turbinaria, turbinaria. Okay, Jellydiella, G-E-L-I-D-I-E-L-L-A, Jellydiella. Okay, Acerosa, A-C-E-R-O-S-A. Okay, G. edulis, E-D-U-L-I-S, G. crassa, C-R-A-S-S-A. crassa and verrucosa. I think एक दो बार नाम देखेंगे, choice में you can eliminate very easily. Shouldn't be a problem. Right, next. Importance of seaweeds में there are 6-7 importance. One is source of vitamins, minerals in food. Vitamins and minerals in food. Number 2 is they're anti-inflammatory and antimicrobial. ये सारा choice में आ जाएगा statements 1, 2, 3, 4. They're antimicrobial. So they're one type of disinfectant, you can say. Antimicrobial, anti-inflammatory. They can reduce pain. Okay. They can fight cancers, particularly tumors and leukemia. Cancer, tumor and leukemia. Blood cancer. Leukemia is blood cancer. Okay. They are effective binding agents. They're called as emulsifiers, binding agents in toothpaste, in organic cosmetics and skincare products. They're binders, they're emulsifiers in toothpaste, in organic cosmetics, skincare products. Next, they're capable of absorbing heavy chemicals, like including iron. They can absorb iron. They help clean the waters. And they are an important source of oxygen in the oceans. Oxygen in the oceans. Okay, and they also are bioindicators. They are also bioindicators. Matlab, they can be signs of healthy ecosystem. जैसे अगर algal bloom हो गया, मतलब it is bad. Algal bloom is an environmental problem. Too much of algae, you know about red tide and the rest. Okay, so that's about algae. Now this, I just thought I will make you write this. I don't know how they can ask you. Development of April का है news है ये वाला. Write down. Next one is give a heading: Prakriti mascot. Prakriti. Prakriti mascot. Yes. Seagrass is one type of a plant. Okay, seaweed is not a plant. It's an algae. Yes. Okay. Next, लिखो आप. Prakriti mascot. MAS is symbol है. MASCOT. Prakriti mascot. MASCOT. Mascot, you understand that image hoga, form hoga, like a image to popularize a concept maybe. Write down. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Ministry of Environment, Forest and Climate Change. Okay. Has launched Prakriti mascot. Has launched Prakriti mascot. इसका 3 objective है. The 3 objectives. Number 1 is for greater awareness among masses. Greater awareness among masses. For sustainable lifestyle and better environment. For sustainable lifestyle and better environment. Number 2, awareness about green initiatives. Awareness about green initiatives by the Ministry and Central Pollution Control Board. And number 3 is awareness for effective plastic waste management in the country. Plastic waste management in the country. I hope you know now, अब वो ban हो चुका. Single-use plastic is now phased out. Okay, since January 1st. ठीक है? So Prakriti mascot के बारे में इतना ही है. Nothing much to add here. Yeah, that's about it. That's one fact. Next one is, next, kelp forest Rajratna in the cold waters, temperate waters में. The coral reefs हैं in the tropical waters. Kelp forests are like coral reefs of the colder temperate forests. The next is a Dam Safety Act. Dam Safety Act 2021. Dam Safety Act 2021. ये न्यूज में था because अप्रैल जून में सुप्रीम कोर्ट said the problems of dam management can be solved by the act, and the issue was the safety concerns of Mulay Periyar Dam in Kerala. तो लिख लो वो context था. So Supreme Court's assertion that dam management and dam safety can be managed by Dam Safety Act. ठीक है, और ये नया ही एक्ट है. December 21 में it was finally passed by Rajya Sabha. Okay, so you could have a question on this. Write 2-3 things here that India is ranked third in the construction of large dams. Ranked third in construction of large dams. Next, most dams are aging more than 50 years old. Most dams of India are aging more than 50 years old. एक fact आप जान लो, one of the oldest dams of India is Kallanai Dam, Kallanai. Kallanai Dam तमिलनाडु में है, रिवर कावेरी में, Kallanai. It is 2000 years old. Sangam age and uske pehle ke. Okay, so most dams of India are very old. The oldest one being Kallanai Dam. Next is, okay, that most dams have poor integration of sedimentology science. They have poor implementation of sedimentology science. देखो बहुत सारे डैम वो 50-60 में बने थे. In those times, the understanding of hydrology and sediment sciences was less. Okay, that's why most dams are threatened by siltation problems. Most dams are threatened by siltation problems. Next, climate change and heavy rainfalls. Climate change and heavy rainfall have also impacted dam safety. Have also impacted dam safety. Next, under the Act, there are 2 national bodies constituted. Under the Dams Act, there are 2 national bodies constituted. One is called as NCDS, National Committee on Dam Safety. NCDS, National Committee on Dam Safety. इसका काम है basically policy formulation and recommending regulations. Policy formulation and recommending regulations. NCDS. The second is NDSA, National Dam Safety Authority. NDSA. NDSA is the implementation arm. NDSA is National Dam Safety Authority, implementation arm hai, and it provides technical assistance to SDSO. SDSO is State Dam Safety Organization. State Dam Safety Organization, SDSO. अच्छा, ये NDSA का काम होगा also, okay, to address disputes related to NDSOs. Not every river dispute. To resolve disputes related to NDSOs. ये 2 national level bodies हैं, okay, and there are 2 state level bodies. नेशनल बताया ना, एक आपका कमिटी है और एक अथॉरिटी हो गया. अथॉरिटी इज द इंप्लीमेंटिंग आर्म, कमिटी इज द पॉलिसी फॉर्मुलेशन आर्म. ओके, SDSOs, yes, SDSOs. And the state level bodies में there are two bodies. One is SDSO. इसका काम है okay, perpetual surveillance, inspection and monitoring of dams. तो मुझे important लग रहा है because of this recent जोशीमठ इशू जो रहा आपका, ठीक है? तो डैम सेफ्टी का कुछ पूछना कुछ पूछ देगा, एटलीस्ट आप लिख तो सकते हो कम से कम आंसर इन मेंस में इफ रिक्वायर्ड, ठीक है? सो जो डैम सेफ्टी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है उसका काम है परपेचुअल सर्विस, 24 आवर्स सर्वेलेंस, इंस्पेक्शन, मॉनिटरिंग, और एक है SCDS, स्टेट कमिटी ऑन डैम सेफ्टी, SCDS, स्टेट committees on dam safety. This supervises dam rehabilitation program. It supervises dam rehabilitation program and reviews the work of SDSO. Reviews the work of SDSO. ठीक है? अच्छा, now जो act है, what does it say? Write down. According to act, the following are the obligation of dam owners. According to the act, the following are the obligations of dam owners. देखो, dam owner can be Government of India, dam owner can be PSUs, the dam owners can also be private institutions. अगर आपको ऋषि गंगा याद है, आपको उसमें 4-5 डैम इंपैक्ट हुए थे, 2-3 डैम प्राइवेट वाले थे. द गवर्नमेंट गिव द कॉन्ट्रैक्ट, दे विल मेक इट एंड दे विल मैनेज इट. ओके, इन केस ऑफ विष्णुगढ़ तपोवन प्रोजेक्ट, इट इज डन बाय NTPC. ये भी कंफ्यूजन है, NTPC थर्मल पावर कॉर्पोरेशन है, वो डैम में क्या कर रही है? एनीबडी कैन बिड. ओके, सो NTPC का भी डैम्स हैं, रिमेंबर दिस. अदरवाइज द मेन PSU is NHPC, right? Okay, so इसमें कंफ्यूजन हो जाएगा आपका. 2-3 डैम्स हैं which are managed by NTPC. हालांकि NTPC का रिकॉर्ड थोड़ा खराब रहा है. Okay, so one way I do not know. I think the विष्णु तपोगढ़ का ओनरशिप NTPC का है. Okay, so the Dam Act says what are the obligations of the dam owners. So NTPC cannot say कि okay we wash our hands and okay, क्या obligation लिखो आप? The dam owners are responsible for safe construction, maintenance of the dam. Dam owners are responsible for the safe construction and maintenance of the dam. Okay. There must be a specialized dam safety unit. एक body बनेगी at the level of the dam. Specialized dam safety unit. Yes, Reenu, I have to be fast. Okay. पहले काम नहीं करोगे तो अभी फंसोगे ना. Okay. So otherwise I can't finish. I cannot teach this for 5 days. Right next. Okay. Right next. Dam owners must prepare emergency action plan. ये वाला missing था in Vishnugarh Tapovan project. They did not have an emergency action plan. Emergency action plan. Okay. They must carry out risk assessment on specified intervals. Specified intervals. And they must prepare risk assessment studies. And they must prepare comprehensive dam evaluation. Comprehensive dam evaluation. जो एक कंट्रोवर्सी है इस एक्ट की वजह से, राइट डाउन हियर, वन कंट्रोवर्सी इज दैट rivers comma water storage and water power, rivers, water storage and water power, they come under state subject. They come under the state subject. But Parliament can regulate and can develop interstate rivers. It can regulate and develop interstate rivers. The question is, can the parliament also regulate rivers flowing entirely within a state? Can you regulate a river that flows entirely within a state? So some of the states have seen this as impacting their federal jurisdiction. Okay? So that's about the dam safety. I think all of us know about nothing much to add. PM Kusum pata hai aap logo, right? Okay, so I will not add about it. Okay, maybe aap 4-5 point likh lo. What are the features of PM Kusum scheme? PM Kusum scheme kya hai? It's basically about renewable energy at the level of farms and fields. Developing renewable energy at the levels of farms and fields. Uska ek important component ye hoga कि irrigation systems में solar installation, solar pump installation. ठीक है? So I think you know PM Kusum. So 2-3 points ये होगा that barren lands to be used for solar pumps, barren lands to be used to install solar pumps. Additional power generated can be sold to state distribution companies, state electricity distribution companies. The DISCOMs can buy the power at subsidized rates. The government will partly support it. The DISCOMs can buy the power at subsidized rates. Farmer ka responsibility kya hoga? The entire project is under 60% subsidy for the farmer level ke liye. 60% subsidy. 30% is on loan for the farmer, and the farmer must actually pay only 10% to install these solar panels. Government subsidizes 60% of the cost. 30% the farmer can take as loans, and the farmer must fund only 10%. तो ये क्वेश्चंस पूछते हैं ना स्टेटमेंट में with the following is correct about the Kusum scheme. Okay, so that's about Kusum project, solarization of, and it's launched by Ministry of New and Renewable Energy, MNRE. Launched, this Kusum is launched by MNRE, Ministry of New and Renewable Energy. Okay, next. Now, 2019 में you had COP 14, of UNCCD, जो आपका दिल्ली डिक्लेरेशन था. इस पे क्वेश्चन पूछा नहीं है डायरेक्टली, but I think important है. 2000. So give a heading. Land, desertification issues. So 2019 was COP 14. Was COP 14. It was Delhi Declaration. It was Delhi Declaration. And under Delhi Declaration, the theme was restore land, sustain future. restore land, sustain future. Next is COP 14 में they launched Peace Forest Initiative. Launched Peace Forest Initiative. ये Peace Forest जो था, it's a South Korean concept. Okay, to use ecological restoration as peace building process. To use ecological restoration as peace building process. Okay, to address land degradation in conflict areas. Land degradation in conflict areas. ठीक है, तो ये पीस फॉरेस्ट इनिशिएटिव हुआ था. एंड और एक था, okay, they gave us drought toolbox. Drought toolbox. It's a sort of a knowledge bank. It is sort of a knowledge bank to support countries to anticipate and fight droughts effectively. To anticipate and fight droughts effectively. Next, they also launched International Coalition for Sand and Dust Storms. International Coalition for Sand and Dust Storms, SDS. SDS. So most desertification areas में ये major problem है, sandstorms and dust storms. Okay. Next is, okay, initiative for 14 African countries to address migration because of land degradation. Migration because of land degradation. और एक कंपोनेंट था इसका, Youth Caucus, CAUCUS, is a group, Youth Caucus on Desertification and Land. Youth Caucus on Desertification Land, basically encouraging the participation of youth, encouraging the participation for youth engaging them for land development, engaging them for land development. So all these are part of COP 14, 2019. May, in the month of May, we had COP 15, Abidjan. COP 15 in Abidjan, Abidjan. Where's Abidjan? Ivory Coast, capital of Ivory Coast. Abidjan is Ivory Coast. Okay, so it has furthered the Delhi Declaration plus, it has furthered Delhi Declaration plus. There are three key declarations. There are three key declarations. One is to boost long-term environmental sustainability. To boost long-term environmental sustainability was one. Number two is achieving gender equality for land management. Achieving gender equality for land management. And number three is, it's called as Land Life Legacy Declaration. Land, Life Legacy Declaration to respond to to respond to UNCCD's flagship report. UNCCD एक रिपोर्ट निकालती है called as Global Land Outlook. Global Land Outlook. This year they have come up with a second report, Global Land Outlook 2. इसका important points हैं, I will read that out for you. ठीक है, write down. The key takeaways. Yes. Now the heading is Global Land Outlook का क्या key takeaways थे? Give heading Global Land Outlook. The key takeaways. Okay. So there are 5 of them. The 5 of them. They're more like a report का मतलब क्या है? Summarizing what's happening. Okay. The 5 reports. Number one is that humans have transformed more than 70% of the Earth's land area. Humans have transformed 70% of the Earth's land area. Number 2 is agriculture responsible for 80% of deforestation. 80% of deforestation and 29% of greenhouse emissions. 29% of greenhouse emissions. Number 3, protecting and restoring ecosystems. Protecting and restoring ecosystems can help achieve global warming goals. Can help achieve global warming goals. Number 4, land degradation threatens. Land degradation threatens marginalized communities the most. Marginalized communities the most. But these communities have much to contribute to ecosystem restoration. But these communities have much to contribute to ecosystems restoration. Number 5 is, it's a stark choice. Stark means obvious and on your face. It's a stark, S-T-A-R-K. It's a stark choice between protecting and restoring land versus protecting and restoring land versus business as usual. Versus business as usual. ठीक है ना, इसमें एक कंसेप्ट ऐड करना चाहेंगे हम. Okay, now we say there are, okay, ये अलग से लिख लो, the part of the report itself अलग से लिखें हम. There are 9 planet boundaries. ये टर्म सुना है आपने? The report talks about, ये यूज कर रहा है रिपोर्ट, बट ये पुराना कंसेप्ट है. We say there are 9 planet boundaries. ठीक है? What are the 9 boundaries? लिखो आप. Climate change. I'm giving you in short. Okay. One is climate change is a boundary. ये quantified है. ये 9 में से 7 of them have been quantified. They say climate change, we have said no, that we must not have temperature more than 1.5 degrees or maximum 2 degrees by end of century. Correct? ये आपने quantify कर दिया है. There are 9 boundaries, 7 of which have been quantified. Just give the heading of the 9 boundaries. क्या क्या है? One is climate change as a boundary. Number 2 is ocean acidification as a boundary. Ocean acidification as a boundary. Third is स्ट्रेटोस्फेरिक ओजोन एज ए बाउंड्री, बेसिकली इसको क्रॉस ना करो आप, द लिमिट्स इन दिस, you cross this, you are in trouble. Okay, stratospheric ozone hole wala issue hai as a boundary. Okay, then we have biogeochemical cycles as a boundary. Biogeochemical cycles or bioecological cycles, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, sulfur cycle, water cycle, all of that as a boundary. Then we have land change systems. Land change systems. Next is biodiversity loss. Next is biodiversity loss. Next, chemical pollution. Next is chemical pollution. Next is atmospheric aerosol loading. Atmospheric aerosol loading. And the last one is global freshwater use. Global fresh water use. ये 9 बाउंड्रीज हैं. एंड दिस ओके लैंड रिपोर्ट जो है आपका, ये ग्लोबल लैंड आउटलुक रिपोर्ट जो, इट सेज दैट वी हैव ऑलरेडी एक्सीडेड 4 बाउंड्रीज अकॉर्डिंग टू द ग्लोबल लैंड आउटलुक रिपोर्ट 2. ग्लोबल लैंड आउटलुक रिपोर्ट 2, we have crossed, exceeded 4 boundaries. वो क्या बाउंड्रीज हैं? क्लाइमेट चेंज बाउंड्री, loss of biodiversity, land use change, and biogeochemical cycles. Biogeochemical cycles. Okay, next, the following boundaries are almost breached. ये 4 तो हमने क्रॉस कर लिया है. Then the following boundaries are almost breached. Ocean acidification, freshwater use, chemical pollution. Okay, ये तीनों ऑलमोस्ट ब्रीच्ड हैं. and also ocean acidity लिखा आपने. Okay, now it's only in the stratospheric ozone that we have been able to come back. Okay, hopefully okay, it will get repaired completely. Okay, only in the stratospheric ozone we are able to revive and rebuild our boundary. ठीक है? So that's UNCCD. The next one is सारे नहीं है. I didn't bother looking up too much. Okay, let me cross check and tell you. 7 of them quantified, which not quantified, I must look up again. Okay, let's get back now. The next is on sustainable city development. Sustainable city development. Okay, write down. World Economic Forum and National Institute of Urban Affairs, NIUA. World Economic Forum and National Institute of Urban Affairs, NIUA, signed an MOU to collaborate on Sustainable Cities India program. Sustainable Cities India program. Okay. With the aim to enable cities to generate decarbonization solutions. The aim to enable cities to generate decarbonization solutions in energy, transport, in transport and in built environment. Objective वही है, to build resilient and equitable urban ecosystems. To build resilient and equitable urban ecosystems. There are two initiatives to be adopted. There are two initiatives to be adopted. Okay. Across 5 to 7 cities in 2 years. 5 to 7 cities in 2 years. ये आपका बन सकता है question. One is the city sprint process. The city sprint process. One, and number 2 is toolbox of solution. Toolbox of solution. A city sprint process क्या है? It is a series of multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder workshops. Multi-sectoral, multi-stakeholder workshops involving business, government, and civil society. Involving business, government, and civil society to enable decarbonization and circular economy. Decarbonization and circular economy. It will include objectives like improved air quality and job creation. Improved air quality and job creation. And to accelerate net zero planning, net zero emissions planning. This is the city sprint process. Okay, जो sprint है basically series of workshops होंगे. Number 2 is the city sprint process uses toolbox of solution. Toolbox of solution. ये क्या है? This is a digital platform. The toolbox of solution is a digital platform containing 200 examples of clean electrification, 200 examples of clean electrification, smart and efficient best practices, in buildings and energy and mobility. In buildings and energy and mobility from over 110 cities across the world. 110 cities across the world. And just know one fact, जो NIUA है, National Institute of Urban Affairs. Okay, this is India's think tank on urban planning and development. Is India's think tank on urban planning and development. It seeks to provide innovative solutions. It seeks to provide innovative solutions. Yes, yes. Okay. This is PIB report. Okay, so this is a page report across 3.5 pages. Like I picked up the most important one because आपने question देखा होगा ना, वो ज़्यादा deep में इतना नहीं जाते हैं. If you know the basic concept, they pick up a word and ask what is that. तो अगर देखना है तो yes, most of these are in PIBs. Yeah. So we discussing it makes it faster for you. Okay. Fine. This is done. The next is now we have the State of World Forest Report 2022. The State of World Forest Report. Just some facts, okay, and some key terms. The State of World Forest Report 2022. Okay. इसका key है that it explores potential 3 forest pathways. It explores potential 3 forest pathways for achieving green recovery. For achieving green recovery and tackling environmental crisis. Environmental crisis. देखो ये जो COP 26 था ना ग्लासगो वाला, वो काफी इंपॉर्टेंट है. 26 was Glasgow, 27 was Sharm el Sheikh, Egypt. So बहुत कुछ डेवलपमेंट, हालांकि in terms of specifics, Glasgow was not successful, but lot of new concepts were given. So under Glasgow initiatives में, there was one pledge also, land and forest pledge taken by 140 countries. So because of the Glasgow summit, this becomes important. Okay. So and Glasgow summit has adopted these 3 pathways. वो 3 pathways क्या है लिखो? The 3 pathways are, number 1, the 3 pathways for forest management are, number 1, halting deforestation and maintaining forests. Halting deforestation and maintaining forests. Number 2, restoring degraded lands and expanding agroforestry. Restoring degraded lands and expanding agroforestry. And number 3 is sustainably using forests. Sustainably using forests and building green value chains. And building green value chains. Basically, forest should be part of social benefits also. Forest should be part of social benefits. Next slide down. Okay. Forests are seen as one of the most critical components in fighting climate change. In fighting climate change and biodiversity loss. And biodiversity loss. That's about this. about the state of forest report. Next is national policy on biofuel. Okay, national policy on biofuel. So इसके 4-5 points लिख लो. One is the decision to introduce ethanol blended petrol. To introduce ethanol blended petrol with 20% ethanol. With 20% ethanol from 1st of March 2023. 1st of March 2023. And to achieve 100%, and to achieve this by 2025-26 and not 2030. Old target था by 2030, हमने 5 advance कर दिया है. Okay, और we are starting this process from 1st of March 2003. ठीक है, this is one. The second is to allow more feedstock. To allow more feedstock for production of biofuel. For production of biofuel. Feedstock का मतलब क्या होता है? Raw material. Okay, so there are restrictions because we don't want, okay, the biofuel to impact our food security. Okay, but the government now says we can do that a bit more. Okay, कितना देंगे वो mention नहीं किया है. It just says to allow more feedstock. Number three is to promote biofuel production under Make in India program. Under Make in India program in SEZs. In SEZs. Next, to grant permission for exports of biofuel in specific cases. To grant permission for export of biofuel in specific cases. The next is, okay, the policy categorizes the biofuel as, number one is basic biofuel, जो first generation वाले हैं. The basic biofuel, the first generation, which is bioethanol and biodiesel. Bioethanol and biodiesel. Number two is advanced biofuel. Advanced biofuel में 2 type हैं. Second generation and third generation. Second generation is ethanol and municipal solid waste. In second generation, we are including ethanol and municipal solid waste से. And third generation is from bio-CNG. Is bio-CNG. Yeah. आप एक ऐड कर सकते हो 1 point that the policy expands the scope of raw material. The policy expands the scope of raw material for ethanol production. Ethanol production to use sugar containing material to use sugar containing material like corn, cassava, and damaged food grains. And damaged food grains like broken wheat, broken rice, broken wheat, broken rice, rotten potatoes, which are otherwise unhealthy for human consumption. Okay? And the last one is viability gap funding. It provides for viability gap funding. Yeah. हमने कितने टॉपिक्स कवर किए अभी तक? 14. I had planned for. I think I must sit for one more day. Okay, for environment alone, I'm left with about 8 to 9 of them for the month of June, May and June. ठीक है, I will not disturb the schedule. इतना आज कर लेते हैं. No PDF कुंदन. Okay, सब कुछ बैठे बैठे ऐसे ही. Okay, सारा काम मैं ही करूं types. No PDF. आपने देखा तो देखा, otherwise you're missing out. So what we'll do is, the next class is on Tuesday. Tuesday will cover polity. Devendra will cover that. And I'll try squeezing, if I can, maybe 1 hour on one of the weekdays to finish off the remaining topics of environment and geography. इसमें places and news हैं और कुछ animals वाले listing हैं जो news में थे. ठीक है? Yeah, yes. I know you're tired. Okay, but ठीक है. कुछ करना पड़ता है qualify के लिए. And thanks for sitting along. Bye-bye. Thank you.